Hello, hello. How is everyone doing this Thursday? Hope you guys are well. Have some sporadic rain, which is good. We need it. Anyways, I'm here to talk to you about real estate basics. This segment, episode 7, is going all over contingencies. So I figured I'm just going to have a conversation with you about all the different contingencies there are, what contingencies you want to use when and where, and when in a market like we're in right now, you may want to forego any contingencies that you can, just because it's wild out there right now. So if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. I will see them and I can answer them. I'm happy to answer them. So some of this we've kind of already gone over. When we did Real Estate Basics episode 1, I believe, we talked about terminology, and contingency is one of those subjects. So one of the main contingencies that you hear about a lot is inspection. You can be contingent on a home inspection, which we usually recommend you doing. In this current market with the bidding wars, a lot of people are forgoing the home inspection because they really want the house and they've lost out on a couple of houses. And that's entirely up to you. That's up to you and your comfort level. You could always still get one after closing and address some of those items on your own. But the only way to have the seller help out if there's some things wrong, or to know if there's some maybe bigger things wrong that you couldn't see, is to get that done while you're in your contract period. So inspection is one of those contingencies. To back it up a little further, a contingency in general is anything you have in place that needs to be completed before you move forward to closing. And this protects your earnest money. Your earnest money is your deposit. You basically put that down right when you sign off on a contract, and that kind of is your skin in the game, okay? It shows the seller that you can go forward with the deal, and it keeps you bound to it because you've got roughly at least $1,000 or more. It's usually 1% for earnest money. So if it's a $200,000 house, it's probably $2,000 in earnest money. And that can fluctuate. Everything's negotiable, right? So I already talked about inspection. Another item that's kind of built into the contract is financing, because if the loan can't go through, you can't buy the house if you are using a lender. So that's another contingency that's already built into the contract. Inspection, we decide when we're filling that out, do you want it, do you not want it, how do you feel? In new construction, we might look at that a little different. You could have the home inspection either while you're coming up to that closing date and ask for a few things before closing, or you usually, in North Dakota, it's 1 year mandatory home warranty. Okay, so you're gonna get a 1 year home warranty. You might choose to wait and have that home inspection at 8 months out and see what the home inspector finds and have the builder fix it then. Or you might do both, or you might do none. It's totally up to you. It's an option you have as a buyer. It is there for you completely. The banks don't care whether or not you get a home inspection. That's not tied together. However, the appraisal, that you need the appraisal for the lender to verify there's no safety issues and to verify the home is worth what you are willing to pay for it. So that appraisal, in sense, kind of falls into the financing contingency. You could literally, for a contingency, you could write in this contract, this home, to close on this home, it's contingent upon my cat turning 20 next June. And if my cat doesn't turn 20 next June, I'm not buying this house. Would you want to do that? Absolutely not. That's absurd. That seller's not going to take your offer probably, because it's a very random thing. But you could write in anything you want as a contingency. All of the contingencies you add in make your offer look a little bit weaker compared to someone else who doesn't have those contingencies. So those are all things to keep in mind with contingencies. The good news is your earnest money is tied to them. So if something comes up and the home inspection, it didn't go well, you can say, sorry, seller, I'm no longer comfortable. I don't want to buy this house anymore. You get your earnest money back. Something comes up with the loan that was outside of your control, same thing, you get your earnest money back. So you're protected. Contingencies are protections for the buyer, really. They can be for the seller a little bit too. If we look at a stop clause, which is subject to owner's purchase, when you're looking at a stop clause, then that's there to protect the seller. That's saying, hey, I've got my house out here, come buy it, yet I still need to go find a house to buy. So I'm gonna put this clause in to protect me in case I really can't find a house and I decide I want out of this contract. And on the flip side of that, there's a ROFR, which is a right of first refusal. It's another contingency. Basically, this would be a sale of buyer's property contingency for a ROFR. So let's say you're out looking, you know you've got a house, but you aren't comfortable listing with a stop. You want to go find your next home first. Then you're going to be in a ROFR situation, right of first refusal, sale of buyer's contingency, property, sale of buyer's property contingency. Put it in the right order. Get with it. Okay, we're good. Yes. So in that case, you go out, you find a house, you and the seller come to terms. There's a deadline in there. It's usually like 2 business days, maybe 1 business day. If you get under contract with them, you still have to sell your house. Somebody else comes along and says, no, I want this house. I don't have a house to sell. Then you've got whatever the contract deems. It might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 3 business days to get your house sold, or to go to the bank and say, can I do gap financing? Can I do a bridge? Is there something I could do to buy this house anyway so we don't lose it? So those are our most common contingencies. Once again, it could be anything you'd like, but really you don't want to add contingencies when you're looking at making your offer stronger, especially in a market like we're in right now. So if you have the option to buy without having it contingent on the sale of your home and then list your home and get it sold anyways, that might be a better option for you. If you don't, that's what it is. You need to do what's best for you first and foremost, but knowing your options, what markets it's better to do what, which is going to be a little specific for each person. I was just thinking when coming up with this real estate basics episode that it's timely. There are a lot, our market is wild right now, and absorption rates just drop down again and again into the following month. So next week you're going to get an update on absorption rates and how wild our market is, and in June, unless they change, they're even crazier than they are right now. So you want to be aware of your contingencies. You want to be aware of your options and the risks with those options, because especially for buyers, your contingency protects you, as well as that stop clause for the sellers, it protects you. So things to think about. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Those are the basic ones anyways. If you have questions, let me know. Hit me up, amber.realtor. You can find me online. Vast majority of social media is amber.realtor too, or ACarlton Realtor. One other thing to think about too is when you see like contingency on realtor.com, it's just saying a contingency and not which one. Unfortunately, that just doesn't feed through. They pull from our MLS. The IDX pulls the feed from our MLS, and that's not a field that just shows up there. Same with Zillow. So when you're looking at that information, it's really good to talk to your realtor. They're going to have that inside information as to what's going on with that property. Yeah, kind of frustrating. That's one of the reasons why it's outdated. It's just a different platform. So yeah, I think that's it. But if you guys need anything, feel free to ask me a question in the comments below, send me a DM, or I'm pretty sure I'll have my phone number on here too if you wanted to shoot a text. That's more than okay. Happy to answer questions. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully it's good weather. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye.